warm good evening and welcome to Business Today. I'm Jerome Paul Sonko with Winnie Wins and a coach on sign language. Welcome along to your daily report. Let's get right onto it. Now, we kickstart it off with the Ebola outbreak. Now, today, the Ugandan government, through the Ministry of Health, has informed the public that there is an Ebola outbreak in the country. The outbreak is currently only in Mubende, according to the Permanent Secretary, Diana Atwine. That is the Permanent Secretary to the Ministry of Health. To prevent the disease spread, the general population has been asked to exercise caution. Naomi Mutumba with the report.
Ebola is a severe, often fatal illness affecting humans and other primates. It has 6 different species, 3 of which were in Bundibujo, Mubende, Sudan and Zaire, and have previously caused large outbreaks. Case fatality rates of the Sudan virus have varied from 41% to 100% in past outbreaks. Early initiation of supportive treatment has been shown to significantly reduce death from Ebola. According to the Health Ministry's Permanent Secretary Diana Atwine, the samples tested by the Uganda Virus Research Institute show that the Sudan strain is the cause of the disease.
A confirmed Ebola outbreak in Mubende district. On the 15th of September 2022, one suspected case of viral hemorrhagic fever was identified and isolated in Mubende Regional Referral Hospital. The patient was a 24-year-old male who lived in Ngabano village of Madudu sub-county in Mubende district. That Ministry of Health, working with the partners together with the district rapid response team, we have already instituted preliminary containment measures to control the outbreak. We call upon the population now across the country, but more specifically Mubende sub-region, to remain calm but vigilant and report any case that has the symptoms that we talked about, but also report and advise the patients to report to the nearest facility for further assessment.
Dr. Mashidiso Mowet, the World Health Organization Regional Director for Africa, indicated as they are working closely with the national health authorities to investigate the source of this outbreak while supporting the efforts to quickly roll out effective control measures.
This species of Ebola that is in use by UVRI. We also support the viral hemorrhagic fever lab that's at UVRI in the capacity that is now in country. So CDC headquarters is already in communication with UVRI and is already helping them develop plans for how they will continue to test and expand testing and have all the support they need during this. Here in country, our team sits with the Ministry of Health and supports them as necessary. So we follow their lead, and the US government in general is aware and will respond to any requests as they're made.
The government cautions Ugandans to be vigilant and follow the standard operating procedures
of suspicion and maintain highest safety precautions. Private clinics specifically are encouraged to observe the standard operating procedures and report any suspected case to the nearest health authorities for further investigations and management. Government is always prepared to handle any epidemic, and so Ebola is one of those. But also we work with partners. Their presence here, CDC, World Health Organization, and UNICEF and other partners work alongside us and work with us.
There has been 7 previous outbreaks of the Sudan Ebola virus, with 4 occurring in Uganda and 3 in Sudan. Uganda last reported an outbreak of Sudan Ebola virus in 2012. In 2019, the country experienced an outbreak of Zaire Ebola virus. The virus was imported from the neighboring Democratic Republic of Congo, which was battling a large epidemic in its northeastern region. Naomi Mutumba Business Today, Smart 24 TV.
Away from that, now we look at transport. As Niwabine Lawrence, the Commissioner of the Directorate of Traffic and Road Safety, has urged parliamentarians to support financing for the police in the Road Safety Forum if the nation is to experience a decline in the number of road fatalities. Let's have more of this report.
When an accident occurs, the police are frequently summoned, and since it often takes them hours to arrive, they have to take on the responsibility of providing security for the engraved public. From the interactions between the police traffic department and the Parliament Forum on Road Safety, it is clear that government has not responded to police's request for more than 20 years.
Inspection of vehicles, mandatory inspection of vehicles. Over two decades, we are still grappling with inspection of vehicles. Really, do we understand the concept of road safety? Do we link road safety to other sectors in the economic development of this country? If we do, then we would develop these systems faster. And this is why I want these two systems be embedded, anchored in Uganda Police Force, because we have a beginning. Once we are supported, then we can build on these systems properly and they will be good.
According to Niwabine, it has now taken 10 years to try to develop a crash data system, which is crucial for documenting crash statistics. But the police, if given the finance, can build it successfully.
The crash data that is not yet built in this country, but there are plans financed by World Bank, isn't it, that we should have a crash data system. However, it has taken more than a decade attempting to build it. And to me, in the Directorate of Traffic, this is a long time when people are dying that we are thinking of how to develop a data crash system. Even us now in police ourselves, we can develop this data.
The Kajansi-Munyonyo Highway, among other black spots, has seen a significant decline in accidents, according to the police, thanks in part to the equipment like the laser speedometer.
Kajansi-Munyonyo Express. Previously, we identified that place, we identified it as a black spot for accidents. That's why we placed it there. So previously, we used to have many accidents. Actually, when we compare the accidents of last year from January to August, and then from January this year to last month, which was August, we realized there is a reduction.
The driver was driving at, for example, at this point, we are at capturing those ones below 80. So this one came at 122. So after capturing, if you want to show the driver, I will come here. This is a slow motion. If I want a video, I capture here. Then you will see him coming. There's now you will say, this is not my vehicle or ABCD. For example, this was H4D. So we have other vehicles, like for example here, I was driving 137 instead of 80 or 80 and below. So that's how we captured him from. We kept the video until we see the number very well.
The forum's chairman, Alex Ruhunda, has informed the police that the forum will work with them and support them in reducing road fatalities. Additionally, he states that the country loses nearly 5% of its GDP, or roughly 4 trillion shillings each year, due to traffic accidents.
Extremely concerned at the rate at which our people are dying on the roads. For the last 3 years, we have seen close to 4,000 deaths per year, and those who get critically injured, a big percentage, 53%. Others, they are put out of action in their businesses, and they can no longer be of use.
Parliament Forum on Road Safety continues its mandate of ensuring that there is a reduction in road accidents. They have assured police that they will do what it takes to support them financially as far as road safety is concerned. Samla Hanifa, Smart 24 TV, Business Today.
Issue. Now we look at the Ebola outbreak on transport in Uganda. According to the government, a case of Ebola virus disease has been identified in Uganda's Mubende district. The transport industry is still working to recover from the effects of COVID-19, so an epidemic like that would be economically devastating. Rona Nahabwe has more of this one.
Uganda has had at least 3 previous episodes of Ebola virus disease, the deadliest being in 2000 that killed hundreds, including its lead treatment specialist. In other news, the transport sector is getting anxious about the outbreak as this could carry a great impact to their businesses. It is also taking the necessary precaution to ensure the effect is not felt, as Mubende is one of their key routes.
The matter of concern, and remember it is happening on one of our major routes, which is the Kampala-Fort Portal route, and that is where Mubende lies. So definitely we are on high alert, and we're here to add our voice onto that of the government to alert people about this dangerous virus. That we already received a friend who was telling me he was planning to get a maid from Mubende and was wondering if he would go ahead and get the maid. And softly I was laughing. I still encouraged him to make sure that the maid comes. Of course, we know as Link now we have already put in place measures, like I talked about the jig. It is already in place. We ensure that we help our people and we sensitize on a public address. But definitely the effect is that people amidst such times may never want to travel. Those who, for example, if you can avoid a journey, you find yourself not having to travel.
When we interacted with one of the passengers, their knowledge about the outbreak was slim. And this means that the government has a lot more of public awareness to do.
I haven't heard about Ebola, but I know how to take care in case of an outbreak.
Ugandans are urged to remain vigilant and calm as the government undertakes the necessary action. Rona Nahabwe, Business Today, Smart 24 TV.
All right, now away from that, now we look at the PLE preparations by the Uganda National Examinations Board. The Uganda National Examinations Board has commenced preparations for the primary leaving examinations, but highlights working under financial constraints. Dr. Dan Odong, the Executive Secretary of the Uganda National Examinations Board, says that they expect the Ministry of Finance to release funds in the second quarter. That speaks to the requirements needed following the increasing number of candidates this year. More of this report.
Dr. Dan Odong, the Executive Secretary UNEB, emphasized the need for the greater funding this year due to the rising number of candidates during the official opening of the district, cities and municipal inspectors of schools on the preparations for the 2022 primary leaving examinations.
This continued increase in the number of candidates, operating costs of running these examinations correspondingly follow. As UNEB, we shall continue to rely on you for more financial support amidst the competing sector budgetary demands. When candidate numbers increase, expenses on invigilation, supervision, marking, and such other key activities increase in equal measure, thus requiring more resources.
As far as resources is concerned, like now that we are in the period of it, when I got into the office of inspectorate, I found out that in Otuke district, the resources which was given to run PLE of 2020 wasn't enough. not until the district had to enter into supplementary budgets. And that one affected so much in facilitating the UNEB officials. But when the supplementary budget was done by the district and forwarded to the ministry, this money was given to the district, and which led to late facilitation of the UNEB officials. And of course, some of them did not trust in.
Oloki Moses, the national chairperson of the Uganda National Inspectors of Schools Association, claims that issues related to climate change constantly impaired PLOE and urges the government and chief administrative officers to work on budgets to improve process facilitation.
As I stand here, I'm afraid that we are entering into very heavy rains. Actually, we are in them already, and we are likely to have a lot of rain during PLOE. And once PLOE comes with a lot of rain, definitely the roads go down, the vehicles can't move, and there's a lot of delay. So we want to call upon the chief administrative officers to understand the situation and look around, stay tuned budgets, look at council issues, and agree to increase the funding, especially to facilitate the activities that will make the PLOE run very smoothly.
Examination is examination. It's a must. It has to be conducted. Whether the money is there or not, it must be. And if the money is not there, we'll still get supplementary budget and we get the money, because we cannot do without examination. We must conduct examination. It's a process. So you should not get worried because of the money. We will conduct. What should worry you is the weather, because the transport, really, the roads, the culverts are broken in many places. So how best we can fix that within this time.
Dr. Dan Odong again revealed that they are going to recruit more than 60,000 people to help in the proper running of PLOE. He therefore assured Ugandans that all these need to be facilitated, adding that they took account of this in the budgeting process.
This year we are expecting to recruit and use a total of 58,028 people, and these consist of scouts, supervisors, invigilators, and also distributors and some security officers, about 58, nearly 60,000 people. And so we anticipate this increase, particularly based on what we saw in the 2020 examination. So in our budgeting for this year's examination, we took into account that increase in candidature, which of course translates into the increase in the number of all these other field persons that we've talked about. So that one we budgeted for, and we expect that this money will be given to us in the second quarter. We are right now in the first quarter of the financial year. At the end of this month, we will have October, we'll have a release for the second quarter. And we had put our projections, our cash limits, the amount of money we expect to spend. We indicated to the Ministry of Finance that a lot of it will be required in this second quarter.
In 2021, heavy rainfall disrupted the start of the primary living examinations PLOE in different parts of the country. At many examination storage centers, there were no teachers to receive the materials. At Mukono Police Division, Uganda National Examination Board coordinators and head teachers were not at the storage center by 8 a.m. At Jinja Road Police Station, only one examination coordinator was at the center. Therefore, better financial planning for such and more is paramount. Pedson Mumbere, Smart 24 TV, Business Today.
Okay, now let's look at the East African Community Treaty, as the Ugandan Parliament has closed nominations for candidates to represent Uganda in the East African Legislative Assembly. Speaking with James Kakoza, he discloses that there is a need to deal with a treaty that has 4 objectives, the most important of which is customs union that requires legal framework on land tariff barriers. Samuel Kirimunda reports. Particular report. Now we head to River Rampampa. After the Nyamwamba River again busting its banks in 2020 as a result of torrential rains from the Rwenzori Mountains, many people of the Chilemba and Nyamwamba divisions in Kasese are still without a home. The same river caused numerous fatalities and extensive public and private property damage worth unspecified billions of shillings 9 years ago.
The heavy floods that led River Nyamwamba to be spoiled started in May 1st, 2013, and they again appeared in 2014. The recent ones that are still fresh in minds of people in Kasese district are the ones that appeared in 2020 on May 7th.
The impact, to me, I can't even explain. It is a huge negative impact. It has displaced people. It has taken lives of the people. It has taken businesses of so many people. Even the Kilembe, which we used to attract even tourists and bring us money here, it is all distracted. You can't find where Kilembe was. So it has a negative impact on terms of economics. And they graded the stream, lower stream, midstream, and upper stream. So they gave out contracts to the companies that are planting bamboo, others are on soil conservation, others are desilting, and others are supporting the livelihood of the people who had lost their food in that circus of running water.
We are dealing with the hotspots of 5.4 kilometers from upstream, the place called Masure, up to road barriers. But as the project starts, we have first identified to first work on the critical areas. Chirembe hospitals, that's where we have started. And also upstream, we have already also started with the Chirembe mine administration and the Chanjuchi village, whereby the scope of works, we are doing desilting of the river, excavation, and then put back the collapsed banks of the river. We expect that there are going to be some reefs for some good years, because we are protecting with the river banks, with the gabions and cyclopean concrete, which is mixed with the big boulders, which you know that they can resist all the waves without bursting the bank where we are protected.
These floods left many homeless and the entire infrastructure in Kasese was spoiled. But the Ministry of Water and Environment has embarked on a plan to restore River Nyamwamba by building boundaries over it, and they've started with 5 hotspots, which includes Chirembe Hospital that was taken away by the floods. Monica Nabiongasma, 24 TV, Business Today.
All right, now let's head to Dar es Salaam, as the government of Uganda has looked into the Dar es Salaam rapid bus transit to replicate it in Kampala, now, which would give us more money, as Tanzania collects a sum of around 120 million per day, and it helps to prevent the congestion of the city. The State Minister of Transport, Fred Byamukama, requested authorities to buy the idea and save on transport expenses. Samuel Kirimunda from Dar es Salaam with the report.
While touring Tanzania's Central Corridor route, the State Minister for Transportation, Fred Byamukama, praised the government for putting in place good infrastructure. The minister says that to lower transportation costs and congestion in the city, Kampala needs to adopt the idea of rapid bus transit.
We are copying example from our brothers and sisters from Tanzania, who also got the idea from other African countries. We have seen with these buses, one, it is faster. Number two, it is generating income to the government. Like here, the experience they have given us in a day, they are collecting about 120 millions. That is Tanzania. That's a lot of money. And when it comes to Uganda, we can collect a lot of it. And for us in Uganda, we're looking at a scenario where we can intermarry the various transport systems.
Minister Fred Byamukama has urged people to support the Tanzania ideology, which is beneficial for the nation's progress.
The rapid bus transit to the standard gauge railway, because we have seen them, they have done it here. A person travels, comes to the SGR station, and the board the SGR goes ahead. Specifically, we are in the planning phase. That's why you have KCCA, Uganda National Road Authority, and the Ministry of Works and Transport. Then you can see how best we can move with it, so that we can move. And they appeal to the rest of the East African member states in the East African community. We can borrow this idea, it will save our environment and it will save time. Time is money.
Ben Bimbi, Assistant Director of Railway Transport, has also urged Ugandans to use the Central Corridor for trade, where Tanzania develops its route and standard gauge railway.
From now, we are going to have the direct train from Dar es Salaam, SGR train, to Mwanza and to the Port Bell, onward to Kampala. And as you know, the purpose of this project is to reduce the transport costs and to improve the economy.
A connection between Tanzania's standard gauge railway to Mwanza, Port Bell, and Kampala will be made by Uganda's standard gauge railway road, which will also convey cargo from Tanzania. Bimbi adds that the standard gauge railway will also be advantageous to East African nations like Kenya and Democratic Republic of Congo.
SGR to Mwanza. It is a hope that Tanzania and Uganda will join hand to have the vessel from Mwanza to Port Bell, and therefore from Port Bell to Kampala we can have the track so that we can have the seamless transport. Also, this also applied to DRC, at Lake Tanganyika, is applying to Burundi, and to Rwanda also.
Once it is put into practice by the authorities, Uganda will earn more money from the concept of more than 120 million shillings per day, as we look forward to lowering the cost of transportation by roads through the construction of our standard gauge railway. Samuel Kirimunda, reporting for Smart Info TV in Tanzania.
All right, now Business Today does take a break. We do return with more. Stick around.